Hi everybody, it's Nikki here and welcome to a bookish video. So let's say it all together. It's Bookgammon time! Yes, here we are back again to play my TBR game where I converted the game of backgammon into Bookgammon, and we used the game to help me pick what books I'm going to be reading in the following month. And today we are picking my November TBR. So in November there are two special events happening for me. The first one is a firm favourite of mine. It is the Believeathon Readathon, and it's very sad time because I believe that this one is the last ever Believeathon. Now I have no idea why Gavin has made this decision, but I'm deeply devastated. I love this readathon. It is one of my two favourite readathons of the year, the other being the Magical Readathon hosted by G from Book Rose channel, but it is what it is. So I will link Gavin's announcement video for you in the description box down below. He's from the channel How to Train Your Gavin, and even if you don't plan on taking part in the readathon, at least watch his announcement video because it is phenomenal. It's a children's book based readathon, and I'm devastated. As I say, I'm devastated that this is going to be the last one. The theme for this round of Believeathon is Escape from the Jungle, and he has created these little playing cards that are absolutely glorious, and on each card we have a book prompt. There's 30 here, so yeah. The way I'm going to incorporate this into November's TBR is normally I would play Bookgammon with just one piece instead of two, and then I would do the prompts for the readathon. However, because we have playing cards to pick our prompts for the Believeathon this time round, I'm actually going to play two pieces on the board as normal. The two prompts that I get from each roll, I can choose to either stick with both those prompts from my original cards or twist and take a Believeathon card. So I hope that makes sense. It should do as I start to play the game. So yeah, I'm very excited for this round of Bookgammon and Believeathon. So yes, and I even made myself a little thing to put them in. So so yeah, that's the first exciting thing to be happening in November. The second exciting thing to be happening in November is it's my birthday! Yes, it is my birthday in November, so a lot of exciting things are happening in November for me. Very excited. So how am I going to incorporate that into my November TBR? Well, as you know, in the previous months, I have been playing my Starbook token and my Bomb Book token. Well, Bookgammon is quite often very mean to me and frequently gives me the Bomb Book. I'm not going to give her the chance to do that, so for 1 month only, the Bomb Book is not going to be in play. However, it is going to be replaced by a book haul token. So yes, for 1 month only, although it may make another appearance in a future episode of Bookgammon TBR game, but we have a book haul token. So in recent months I have been using a point system to help me decide how many books I can buy in a month, but if I land on the book haul token in this game of Bookgammon, then it means that I can buy as many books as I want. It would be unlimited. I kind of really want to land on this because there is a couple of series that I have my eye on that I would like to pick up. So yes, book haul token will be in play instead of the Bomb Book token. However, the Starbook token will still be in play, and my Starbook, which is the book that I really want to read, I'm so excited. It's been calling my name. It's highly anticipated. I expect it to be a 5-star read. The book I have chosen for my Starbook for November is, and you might think I'm a little crazy at this one, but this book has been calling my name since I watched the series. I'm on my 3rd watch of the series. It's Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. So I have been watching, as I say, the series on Amazon Prime with Sam Heughan and Catriona, I forget her last name. And I have got the first 3 books in this series on my shelves. It is a chonker. It is a massive book. This one has got 863 pages in it. But as I say, I'm in love with the show, and I really, really, really want to read this. I am so excited for this. The text as well isn't too small, so I'm guessing that although yes, this is 863 pages, I think it's going to be a really quick read. It's a very floppy paperback. It's a very floppy one. And I actually really can't wait to read this. Like, I want to read the source material for the show. So yes, this is my Starbook for November. So that is all of the housework done. So let's get to the gameplay and see how nice is Bookgammon going to be to me for my birthday month. Roll footage. Okay, so here we have our board. Let's remind ourselves of the categories. Red is thriller, pink is contemporary, orange is classic, green is middle grades, yellow is graphic novels and mangas, purple is non-fiction, and yellow is fantasy and sci-fi. We have our Starbook prompt, and for 1 month only our haul book prompt. So we need to find our place in there. So let's place the Starbook first. I have my phone with my random number generator. Which place are we going to put them? Number 14. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ooh. So it's taking up a fantasy space. And for the haul token, number 4. Oh my god. We could hit it. Ah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's taking up a thriller space. Okay. So we have our normal prompt cards. So we'll give them a shuffle. And then we have our Believeathon prompts. So let's give them a shuffle. Okay, and we will put those here. So we have our 2 dice, we have our dice shaker, and 2 pieces to play. So our first roll is a 5 and a 2. Ooh, okay. So our first piece, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a middle grade, and our second piece is 1, 2, a fantasy. So the prompt is for middle grade, it is popular choice, and for fantasy has multiple POVs. Okay, so I think that because we already have a middle grade for this role, I'm not going to swap for a Believeathon prompt for this role, so I'm going to stick with these prompts. So yeah, that's good. For our second roll, can I get that haul? Oh, no. Okay, so we have 1 and a 4, so I'm going to move this one 1 and this one 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 contemporaries. There's a good chance I'm going to swap. Okay, so we only have to pick 1 prompt for this because they are both on the same colour and it's only 1 card that I pull. So the prompt for this is a hyped book and I am going to swap this out. So the Believeathon prompt for this one is read a TBR veteran. So I do have to pick a middle grade for this. It is not a contemporary. All the Believeathon prompts are middle grade picks. So read a TBR veteran. I can do that. Okay, I need a 1. I need a 1. Oh, the book haul. Yes! Oh, 1! I got it. I got the book haul, people. I'm so excited for this. So excited. Yes, got the book haul. So I will do a thriller prompt for that. Normally if I land on the bum book or the star book, then I have to read the set book for that, not stick into the genre of the space that it's on. But for this time I will take the prompt for the space. So that one moved 1, this one has to move 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And before we forget, we have to remove the star token off the board. So the prompts for this is for the thriller, an ebook, okay, and for the non-fiction, a biography. Okay, I am going to switch out the non-fiction prompt. We pull a Believeathon card, and the prompt for this one is read a book that gives you winter vibes. I can do that. Roll number 4. A 3 and a 2. Okay, I need to get this one moving. So 1, 2, 3. So that's non-fiction. And this one 2. 1, 2. So a contemporary and a non-fiction. So the contemporary is an overhyped book, and the non-fiction is to read only at the weekend. I think I'm going to swap out the non-fiction again and pull another Believeathon card. So the Believeathon card is read a book with a 2-word title. I can do that. Okay, roll number 5. Oh, we're going to have a lot of books on this TBR, I can see this week, because we've had a lot of rolls. So 3 and a 1. I'm going to get a fantasy on, so we're going to go 1 for that one, and then 1, 2, 3, a classic for this one. So for the classic, we have my initials in the title, so it doesn't have to start with my initials, it just has to have the letters N or P in the title. And then the contemporary is from the buzzword of the month, so I'll have to check what that is and then hopefully pick a book according to that. I'm quite happy at the moment with those prompts. However, I will check what the buzzword is for November, and if I haven't got a book with that buzzword in, then I will pick a Believeathon card to replace that prompt. So I'm going to stick this time, so we're going to go with those prompts. Come on, some bigger numbers. Roll 6. No! Why? Okay, let's think about this strategically. Okay, I'm going to do this 3. 1, 2, 3, so we get a middle grade, and this one 2. 1, 2, so we get a fantasy. So the middle grade prompt is to no. I've got to go back 3 spaces. Okay, and the fantasy prompt is a 5-star prediction. I can do that. Now, I am going to take the punishment of going back 3 spaces, but I am also going to pick a Believeathon card to give me a book to read for the middle grade. So the prompt for that is to read a book you think will surprise you. Okay, so those are the prompts. But we have to move our piece 3 spaces back. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's going to be a big TBR this month. I can see it happening. Okay, roll number 7. Oh, bigger numbers. Okay. So I'm going to move this 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the classic. And this one 3. 1, 2, 3 for a middle grade. So for the classic, it is a place name in the title. And for the middle grade, it is a poll pick. Okay, so I will try and give you a... Basically, I will pick 3 books and then you can choose which of those books I'm going to be reading. So I think, classic. I think I might swap out the classic on this one. So let's pull a Believeathon card. And this one is to read a book with a title that starts with the same letter as your name. Oh, that's going to be hard. Okay, I might have to think on that one. But there you go. That is that roll. And the 8th roll. Finally! Some bigger numbers. So we're going to take this piece home. So there is no prompt for that one. And I'm going to use this, the 6 to move this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's just a middle grade. And for that one, we need a mythical creature. I'm going to stick with this one. I'm happy with that. So that is the prompt for this roll. So now we just use 1 dice and roll number 9. 3. We're back to the small numbers again, are we? Okay. 1, 2, 3. A fantasy. That's what I like to see. Okay, so the prompt for that is a book with animal characters. These can be the main character, or it can have like a side character, like a side companion, like an animal companion or something with it. I'm going to stick with that one. Okay, let's pull out a big number so we can take this one home. This is actually roll number 10. Nope, we're sticking with the small numbers. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, we have a middle grade. And for that one, we need to read the shortest on my TBR. I'm going to stick with it again. Might as well, it's already a middle grade. And our final roll, hopefully, roll number 11. Yay! And we're home. So that is it. That is our gameplay for Bookgammon for November.
And we're back. Well, that went well, didn't it? I'm kind of disappointed in a way that I didn't get my star book, because I do really want to read this. As mad as it sounds, I really do want to read this. Big books don't intimidate me, so the size of it isn't intimidating to me because I know I'm going to love the subject matter. I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get my star book. But we did get the book haul token. I am so excited. That means I can buy as many books as I want in November. Happy birthday to me. So sadly, unfortunately not, but yay for the book haul, which means I can buy more books, more books. So yes, that happened. Okay, so roll number 1, I decided not to twist any of the prompts that I got because the first prompt we got was a middle grade. So I didn't think that I needed to twist out for a middle grade Believeathon prompt. So the prompt for that was popular choice.
And for that one, I simply couldn't think of anything else that I wanted to read during the month of November, during the Believeathon, than Frostheart. This is the third book in the series, which is Rise of the World Eater by Jamie Littler. And I have really enjoyed this trilogy so far, books 1 and 2. This is obviously book 3. This is Gavin's favourite children's book, I believe. I don't think anything has been able to dethrone the Frostheart series for him as of yet. So I knew that this would be a popular choice for me to read in November. And I actually really can't wait to see how this trilogy ends. The first book, Frostheart, I felt had potential. I felt like it was going somewhere, but I wasn't completely blown away by it. The second book, however, Escape to or From Aurora, I'll have to check the title of that. From Aurora. Escape from Aurora. I really enjoyed and gave 5 stars. So there was the potential met that I knew was coming, that I knew it was there, it was to be had, I knew it. So I'm really excited to see how the story ends, because the story really was starting to vamp up in book 2. It was really going to where I wanted it to go. So yes, I am very excited to read book 3. This is a Waterstone special, so it has those beautiful decorated edges, which all 3 of the books had from Waterstones. So I'm very, very excited to read this book. Our second prompt for roll number 1 was a fantasy, and that was a book that had multiple POVs. And for that one, I'm going to begrudgingly, believe me, there's a lot of grudge on this one. I'm going to be reading Gods and Monsters by Shelby Mcmahon. It is there. Very flashy front cover. This is the Fairy Loot special edition to go with the other 2 Fairy Loot special editions, because again, this is book 3 in a trilogy. And the reason why I'm begrudged reading this is because I waited for over 2 months to get this from Fairy Loot. Despite the fact that this was released 2 months ago. I don't know why we had to wait so long. I don't know if there was printing problems or what. I know that the whole world seems to be in crisis at the moment. Everywhere seems to be, you know, just everywhere we're running out of things that I never thought we would ever run out of. We seem to be in a massive crisis in the world. I don't know if it's a runoff from COVID-19 and lockdowns that happened and occurred, but this was the book that finally made me decide not to purchase any more Fairy Loot special editions from the Fairy Trove, because I just got so angry waiting for this book to arrive when I knew it was for sale for the general public in like Waterstones and other indie bookshops and things like that, and I was still sat waiting for my special edition. It just felt wrong to me, and it's not just that I had to wait. That's not the biggest problem. The problem was Fairy Loot was still offering special editions of other books, even though they hadn't fully fulfilled their previous, sales. That's why I'm begrudging this. However, the story itself, I really enjoy. I really enjoyed the first book, Serpent and Dove. I really enjoyed Blood and Honey that I read earlier this year, just a couple of months back in preparation for receiving this. So yeah, it's about a witch and a witch hunter who are forced into a marriage, and the witch hunter has no idea he has just been forced to marry a witch. And obviously things are going to go bump. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the story, but I'm begrudging it because of the whole issue with Fairy Loot. But that is Gods and Monsters. Sorry about the lighting, guys, it's very dark. Okay, so for roll number 2, Although the two pieces landed on two separate spaces, both spaces were a contemporary. So the contemporary prompt for that was a hyped book, and I didn't fancy doing that. So I twisted for a Believeathon prompt. And the Believeathon prompt was, a friend for life, though we really should split. It's time to dive in if time will permit. So read a TBR veteran. So for this one, I went to my notebooks, and the oldest middle grade that I had, because remember, all Believeathon prompts will be middle grades no matter what the space I landed on. The oldest middle grade that I have in my collection is The Huntress Sea by Sarah Driver. I believe this is the first book in a series. I think you have Land and Sky as next books. So yeah, the synopsis on this says, ever since Ma died, Mouse has looked after her little brother Sparrow, dreaming of her destiny as captain of the Huntress. So we're going to be on a ship. But now Dar's missing, Sparrow is in danger, and a deathly cold is creeping across the world. So there's going to be sea churning, beast chattering, dream dancing, whale riding, pterodil flying, world saving adventure. So that is going to be that one. So for roll number 3, we landed on the book haul token, and so I was extremely excited about that. However, there wasn't an actual, I decided to take the actual prompt for that space, and the prompt for that space was a thriller, an ebook. So I am going to turn to my Amazon Fire tablet, and I am going to be reading Hold Back the Tides. I can't remember the author's name, so I will put it on the screen for you. As per usual, my Amazon Fire is dead, so I can't show you the cover, but I will leave a link to the book in my description box, so you can just go click on it, read the synopsis for it, and you'll know what it's about. I'm just such a bad YouTuber, I really am. And the second prompt for roll number 3 was a non-fiction, and that one was to read a biography. However, I don't like to read biographies. I don't know why I have that prompt on there. Maybe to try and make me read biographies. But I didn't fancy it, so I twisted and we got a Believeathon prompt. The prompt this time was, the temperature drops, it's cold in our town. Grab a hot chocolate, let the snow fall down. Read a book that gives you winter vibes. So for this one, I picked There May Be a Castle by Piers Torday. Now this one I was kind of hoping to keep for December, because it is one that is set on a frozen Christmas Eve, and we have another character called Mouse. This time, Mouse Mallory and his family set off across a snow-white valley to visit his grandparents. However, they never arrive. Mouse is thrown from a car when the wheels skid off the icy road, and when he wakes, he finds himself in a magical landscape with only a talkative sheep and a very bossy horse for company. And they tell him, this is your story now. So Mouse begins an extraordinary quest through a world of wonder, a world of monsters, minstrels, dangerous knights and mysterious wizards, a world of terrifying danger but also more excitement than Mouse has ever known, all to find a castle somewhere beyond. So yeah, this is the book that I'm going to pick for that one. For roll number 3, our first prompt was a contemporary, and the prompt for that was overhyped book. I decided to stick with this prompt, and I am going to read Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's not the fact that I think that it's overhyped, I just feel like every booktuber has read this at some point. When this first came out, I saw this everywhere and people were going absolutely nuts over it. In fact, a lot of people go absolutely nuts over any book that Taylor Jenkins Reid has written. I have read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Didn't love it. I gave it 3 stars, I think. I found it quite predictable. So I wasn't actually going to buy Daisy Jones and the Six because I wasn't sure if it was going to be my thing. But then I saw these beautiful sprayed edges and I was like a magpie to shiny things. It really... So I bought it. So now I'm going to read it. Daisy Jones and the Six is about a band. Albums were on every turntable, sold out arenas from coast to coast. Their sound defined an era, and then on the 12th of July 1979 they split. Nobody ever knew why until now. So the whole book is set out like a script, like an interview, which doesn't intimidate me at all. I did a lot of drama and performance arts when I was at college and school, so reading a script or an interview style book doesn't intimidate me. It's just the talk of a 70s rock band. I mean, I like Metallica and I like Def Leppard and I like Bon Jovi, so I'm hoping that I'm going to get some of those vibes with this one. But yeah, overhyped book for Daisy Jones and the Six. The second prompt was another non-fiction, and that was to read only at the weekend. However, I chose to swap it out for another Believeathon prompt, and for that one it is, let's make it tricky, let's make this hard, choose your words wisely, the rest to discard. So read a book with a 2-word title. So for that one, again, I couldn't choose anything other than another Gavin's fave, and that is Rainbow Grey by Laura Ellen Anderson. And the great thing about this is that Gavin actually makes an appearance in the story. I haven't found his picture yet. I know it's somewhere in here. I'm sure when I get to it, I will be like, oh, is that him? Yes, I found him, I found him. So Gavin is actually in the book. His name is mentioned right there. Look at that. Yeah, Gavin is in this book, so I had to get this book in somewhere, and I'm really glad I could fit it in for this prompt. Rainbow Grey is about a 10-year-old girl called Ray Grey who wishes she had magic like her friends. Life in the Weatherlands just isn't the same without it. But then a forbidden trip to Earth turns everything Ray thought she knew about herself upside down. Ray must dig deep to find her inner power, battle new enemies, and let her true colours shine. So yes, if this is going to be the last Believeathon, I knew I had to get some Gavin favourites in here. So I'm going to be reading Rainbow Grey. And look at those beautiful sprayed edges from Waterstones. Waterstones, knock it out of the park every time. For roll number 5, our first prompt was fantasy, and the prompt was the buzzword of the month. This is from Books with Lala. She does a buzzword for every month of 2021, and the buzzword for November is lost. So for that one, I picked The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. So it is this one. It's only a short one, but this one is about a forgotten history, a secret network of women, a legacy of poison and revenge. Welcome to the Lost Apothecary. So in the 18th century London, secret apothecary shop caters to an unusual kind of clientele. Women across the city whisper of a mysterious figure named Nella, who sells well-disguised poisons to use against the oppressive men in their lives. But the apothecary's fate is jeopardised when her newest patron, a precocious 12-year-old, makes a fatal mistake, sparking a string of consequences that echo through the centuries. Meanwhile, in present-day London, aspiring historian Caroline Parswell spends her 10th wedding anniversary alone, running from her own demons. And when she stumbles upon a clue to the unsolved apothecary murders that haunted London 200 years ago, her life collides with the apothecaries in a stunning twist of fate, and not everyone will survive. This was one of my highly anticipated for the year books, so I'm really glad to get it read and, yeah, get it read before the end of the year, because that is something that I don't generally do very much. So yes, very excited for this one. Second prompt for roll number 5 was a classic, and that one was my initials in the title. So my initials are NP. They didn't have to be the start of the title, but they had to be, you know, somewhere in the title. And for that one, I'm going to be reading The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. Now, I have not seen the stage show live, but I do have a DVD of the stage show, which I absolutely love and adore. The music, the costumes, the atmosphere. It's just one of my dreams is to go and see The Phantom of the Opera live. I know it's not really my husband's kind of thing. I'm not even sure if it's my daughter's kind of thing, so I don't know, but it is something I would like to do before I die. It's on my bucket list. I went to see The Phantom of the Opera live. It's such a beautiful musical for the stage. It's just, Andrew Lloyd Webber just brought it to life so beautifully. The music, the dancing, the costumes, everything. But I've never read the book. It's only a short one. So hopefully it will be quite easy to get through. We'll never know. Well, we will, hopefully. We will know by the end of November if I will love the book as much as I love the stage show. Roll number 6, we got another fantasy prompt, and that one was a 5-star prediction. Now, I went back to my 5-star prediction video, and the only one left on there that I have not read yet is Scythe by Neil Schusterman. This one, I really do think I am going to enjoy. It's a dystopian. It says, what if death was the only thing left to control? In a perfect world, the only way to die is to be gleaned by a professional scythe. When Citra and Rowan are chosen to be apprentice scythes, they know they have no option but to learn the art of killing. However, the terrifying responsibility of choosing their victims is just the start. Corruption is the order of the day, and Citra and Rowan need to stick together to fight it. But then they are told that one of them will have to glean the other. So very excited to see how this is dealt with. I've heard some good reviews, I've heard some bad reviews, so I'm very excited as to see how I'm going to feel about it. I'm excited about it. It is a 5-star prediction, so I do think I'm going to love it. Because I love the Hunger Games, I love the Ugly series, and this kind of has those same questions and thought processes as those other 2 books. So yes, I'm very excited to be reading this one. And the second prompt for roll number 6 was a middle grade, but that told me to go back 3 spaces. Yes, I do have these prompts on the board, some to go backwards and some to go forwards. So what I decided to do was take a Believeathon prompt to give myself a book for that prompt, because I had to go back 3 spaces, but there was no prompt to pick a book for. So I used a Believeathon prompt. And the Believeathon prompt for this one was, oh my goodness, now you're staggered. The thoughts you had have now all shattered. Read a book you think will surprise you. For that one, I went with another one of Gavin's favourites, and that is Wild Spark by Vashti Hardy. Now, I'm not sure if Wild Spark is one of his favourite books, but I do know that he loves Vashti Hardy's writing and has enjoyed a lot of her books. This is a beautiful cover, and it says, in Medlock, machines don't come to life, life comes to machines. Prue Hayward is on a mission, getting the ghost machines of Medlock to remember the people they used to be. She needs to find her brother Francis. If she fails, her brother will stay dead, and if she succeeds, all of society may fall apart. So it's a very exciting younger sister trying to save her brother kind of story. And the reason why I think this will surprise me is because I'm quite surprised I have not read anything by Vashti Hardy so far. This will be my first Vashti Hardy, and that's the surprising part of this prompt. She is a well-known, well-loved children's book author, and despite the few Believeathons we've had already, despite the fact that I love reading middle grade books, I have never read a Vashti Hardy book. So I want to change that by reading one for the Believeathon this time round. For roll number 7, we got a middle grade prompt, and for that one it was a poll pick. So this is where I am going to need your help. I have 3 middle grade books that I am wanting to read using my Amazon Fire tablet. So I'm going to be reading one of 3 ebooks that I can get on BorrowBox, which is my library's local app. So the first choice you have is Twitch by M.G. Leonard. This is a story about a young boy birdwatching adventure. So if that is your choice for me to read, I would like you to put a bird emoji in your comments. The second choice is Wonderscape by Jennifer Bell, and I believe this is a kind of Jumanji kind of story where these children are drawn into a video game or a board game or something, and they have to solve the clues and play the game in order to escape. So for that, I would like you to pick a jungle emoji, I think, because there was a lot of jungle in Jumanji. And the third choice is Cogheart by Peter Bunzel, and I believe this is a story about mechanical animals, I think, and there is a fox on there somewhere. So if you would like me to read Cogheart, then I would like you to put a fox emoji in, or a cog or something, in your comments. So for Twitch, a bird emoji, for Wonderscape, a jungle type emoji, and for Cogheart, a fox or a cog or a heart in your comment section. So yes, please put your comments in this video to let me know which of those 3 you would like me to read, and you will find out when I do my wrap up which one I'm going to do. If I can figure it out, I will put a poll on my Instagram, which is always linked in the description box. So if I figure it out, I will do that. But I'm not great with technology. In fact, my daughter called me a dinosaur the other day because she was trying to teach me something on my phone and I couldn't quite grasp what she was talking about. So yes, I'm a dinosaur when it comes to technology. So that is that. The second prompt for roll number 7 was a classic, and that was place name in the title, but I decided to swap that out for a Believeathon prompt. So the Believeathon prompt is: the streets and lanes have turned to rubble. Before your eyes, the words are double. So read a book with a title that starts with the same letter as your name. So I found this really difficult. My name is obviously Nikki Pearson, so I thought an N or a P, and I really struggled. And then I remembered skullduggery, pleasant, P, pleasant. So this is the Faceless Ones, which is book 3 in the Skullduggery Pleasant series. I have the first 3 books as a box set on my shelves. So yeah, I'm going to be reading this one. I don't know what this one's about. I'm guessing it's going to continue the story. However, I kind of can't remember what happened in the first 2. I listened to the first 2 books actually on audiobook, which I was able to get through BorrowBox, my local library's app. However, I think I was most definitely playing Animal Crossing during the second one, because I can't actually remember much of what happened in the second book. So I may have to listen to book 2 again before I can pick up book 3. However, book 3 does not have an audiobook on BorrowBox, only book 1 and book 2 do. So I'm gonna have to read this one physically, so hopefully this one will sit better in my memory than the first 2 books. But yeah, I may have to read book 2 first before I get to this one, which will add an extra book onto my already large TBR. But yeah, we'll see about getting to this one. If I do read book 2 and I don't get to this one, then I will just count book 2 as fulfilling the prompt, and you know, we'll leave it at that. But my goal is to read book 3. So that is that one. For roll number 8, we got one piece home, so there is only one prompt to do this time, and that was for a middle grade, and the prompt for that was mythical creatures. I decided not to swap it out for a Believeathon prompt because it already was a middle grade. So for mythical creatures, I went with my favourite mythical creatures of all, mermaids. So this is Rise of the Jumbies by Tracy Baptiste. Now she looks like a mer snake, but on the back you can plainly see there are mermaids in there. This is the second book to the Jumbies. I did read the Jumbies last year, I think it was. So it's about time I got on to book 2. The first book was about this young girl who's living on this, I think it's Jamaican, Caribbean island home, and a strange woman comes to her village and is threatening to do bad things. And this young girl and her friends end up having to save their village. So now we're going on to book 2, and I'm very excited to see how these mermaids and this mer snake creature is going to be dealt with by the young girl Corinne from the first book. So yes, I'm going to read that one. For roll number 9, we just have the one prompt again, and that was a fantasy, and the prompt for that was animal characters. And I couldn't think of anything more that I wanted to read than 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. This is a Fairylit edition with those beautiful stenciled edges. Yes, I'm very excited to read this. I have heard nothing but good reviews about this story. I know one of my friends from my local book club really enjoyed this and asked me had I read it yet, and she's very excited for me to get to this. So yes, this is based on the story the Six Swans, I think, or the Six Shiori. I cannot pronounce that name. I hope it gets shortened. Shiori Anma, the only princess of Kiata, has a secret. Forbidden magic runs in her veins, and on the morning of her betrothal ceremony, Shiori loses control. Yes, it's shortened, John. That was going to be a mouthful reading that every time. So Shiori loses control. At first, her mistake seems like a stroke of luck, forestalling the wedding she never wanted, but it also catches the attention of Raikama, her stepmother. A sorceress in her own right, Raikama banishes the young princess, turning her brothers into cranes and warning Shiori that she must speak of it to no one, for with every word that escapes her lips, one of her brothers will die. So, yes, very excited to read this one for the prompt animal characters. And last but not least, roll number 10, we got another middle grade. What a great way to finish off November's Bookgammon. And for that one, we had to read the shortest on my TBR. And I wasn't going to swap out that one when I have so many books to read. So the shortest book on my middle grade TBR is another mermaid book. This is Mermaid Curse, The Silver Dolphin by Louise Cooper. And it is extremely short. It's very, very short. This one is only 170 pages. So a good afternoon swimming with the dolphins and the mermaids. Can't think of anything better to do for my birthday. So this says, Lizzie Baxter is thrilled when her family moves to Cornwall. She's always loved the beach. Lizzie doesn't realise, but she has a special connection with the sea and the mystical mermaids and silver dolphins who swim there. But there's much more to the beautiful blue-green world than magic. The evil mermaid queen is plotting to steal something precious. Something that belongs to Lizzie. So if there are mermaids in Cornwall, I am going. I want to go. But yeah, very excited to be finishing off my TBR with a beautiful short mermaid book. So that is it. That is my November TBR, including some Believeathon prompts as well. I counted 9 middle grades on my TBR for November out of 16 books. So I'm extremely happy. Yes, I have a lot of books to get through, but 9 of those are middle grades. And some are less than 200 pages. So it should be doable. I should be able to get through it. Plus as well, I will have my buddy read with my good friend Charlotte. We are starting on a new series in November. So I will have that to read as well. So yeah, that is my November TBR. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!